Oh, hello. Welcome everyone. I'm Catfish Franklin, and this here is Catfish Corner. And today's story is called He Was a Friend of Mine. But before I get to that, I would just like to thank you for stopping by here on YouTube. And I'd also like to thank my members over on Patreon. There's a link in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. Now then, today's story, He Was a Friend of Mine. Well, I figured I'd just do this backwards, and I'll just play the song first this time, and then, I don't know a whole lot about this song, but then I'll talk about what I do know after this. So let's see how that works out. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Never had no money to pay for his fines. He was a friend of mine. He died on the road. He died on the road. He never had no money to pay for his board. He was a friend of mine. He never done no wrong. He never done no wrong. He was just a poor boy, a long way from home. He was a friend of mine. I stole away and cried. I stole away and cried. I never had no money, and I can't be satisfied. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Every time I hear his name, you know I just can't keep from crying. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Alright, well that is the story of He Was a Friend of Mine. It's a pretty good one. What I know about this song is This version was collected by the Library of Congress by John and Ruby Lomax in 1939 in Texas, in what I believe was some sort of prison. And it was called Shorty George. Now, Shorty George is a different song, and there's a version of Leadbelly doing Shorty George, and it's kind of a different song. It's about how Shorty George is not a friend of mine because he's always hanging around, taking all the ladies and taking all the liquor and stuff like that. So, but this one version of the Library of Congress is basically the lyrics that I just did here. And so, some guy in 1961, a guy named Rolf Cahn, I always want to say Ralph Cohn, but it's Rolf Cahn, a folk singer of some sort, found this song in the Library of Congress, and then he did his own version of it. Now, the first version, the Shorty George version, is kind of like a blues type of a version. And this guy here, Rolf Cahn, he kind of made it. It didn't really change chords, and he kind of made it more of a droning sort of thing. In 1961, his album came out. So then, Bob Dylan does a version of it for his first album, and it ended up being an outtake. It didn't get on the album of this song. Oh, and this Rolf Cahn is the first one who called it He Was a Friend of Mine instead of Shorty George. So Bob Dylan does a version of He Was a Friend of Mine, and he kind of made up, I guess, the chords that we're using here. And his album came out later in 1961, but that song wasn't on it. So then in 1962, Dave Van Ronk put the song out, and it's the best version. It's awesome. Dave Van Ronk for the win. Again, his version is the best. Now, for all I know, he's the one who possibly got it from Rolf Cahn, and then Bob Dylan got it from him, maybe. I don't know about that, but it wouldn't be the first time that Bob Dylan took a song that Dave Van Ronk was kind of making popular, and then he made it even more popular. So, anyways, that's about it on this song. It kind of, during that period in the 60s, I feel like this became one of those sort of more popular kind of tunes in the folk circuit. That's what it seems like to me, but so that's about all I know about it. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of a universal sort of song, and it's just, I don't know, there's something catchy about it. So I guess that's about it for today's story. If you like that sort of thing, feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, or if you want to go the extra mile, you can check out my links down below where you can donate or possibly become a member of my Patreon page. So thanks a lot, everyone, and I'll see you next time.